Okay, everybody, welcome back to the main room. Since I last saw some of you, I've become Chelsea. We're going to do a whiteboard exercise similar to what we did for the beginning of our session. So if you could all access the whiteboard by clicking that link at the bottom of the page. We're now asking folks for how are you going to implement the strategies that you learned today? There's also been a link dropped in the chat to this whiteboard. One thing I know I'm going to do is invest in some incense diffusers.
I think you need to explain that incense diffuser there.
Well, we were just talking about the. Yes, that needed context. We were talking about how to make your library a welcoming place, and one of our paras shared that was talking about had shared slides. They have incense diffusers in their library, and then Matt, who was at Corey, was talking about how much their students love the peppermint infuser. Caveat being that I know incense diffusers are definitely not some people's jam. So we got Summer at Merrill is going to give students response opportunities to present to small groups before the whole class or their audience, and allowing students to choose their partners. Thanks for sharing, Summer. Yes, Matt is excited to try Book Creator and collab with the music teacher on wrapping books. We had a presentation on a collaboration where students were creating rap music with picture book lyrics or picture book text as the lyrics, and we were treated to a sample of that. It was really cool. I agree with Matt.
Some people might be having access issues with the Canva. If you are, feel free to just jot your response in the chat, and we're happy to put it on a sticky note for you.
Oh yeah, so maybe if you've already dropped in your comment, maybe dip out of the Canva so that other people can join. I believe we have a maximum number of folks who can join at one time. But I see Lex using student helpers, fast finishers to help students who work at a slower pace or fall behind due to absences. That's a great idea. Yeah, Kathy is sharing have cooperative roles for students in groups. I'm seeing things about students helping other students, which is always a really positive thing to see. Margaret is sharing, I will use Google Earth visits to do a maps and mapping project, including hand drawing and then taking things to a drawing application. Cool. Yes, I was treated to the Google Maps show earlier, and that was very impressive. I was very excited about that possibility as well. Rachel says, always giving students choice of their groups. And Miguel, I want to make pair share more interesting and hold students accountable for participating. So I will create groups where one of the roles will be make sure that all members are participating. That's really interesting. I like that a lot. I think like trusting students to hold each other accountable is a very positive thing. Trying to get to other people's responses. Matthew says, I will use Google Earth to have my students explore environmental issues in French-speaking countries. That's awesome. That's really interesting. Lindsay, use the pinned places in Google Earth to show students different places. Adrienne, use Google Earth with robotics to learn about disaster sites where robots have helped humans. Wow, okay. That's really interesting. Thank you. Kate at Merrill shares, great reminder about focused feedback, not just give feedback, but give feedback on blank and include the look fors. So students are giving authentic feedback and not just good job. Yes, I feel like a lot of us have probably experienced that. It is, and even as adults, it's very hard sometimes without, I think being reminded that we're not just there to pump somebody's ego, but to give people constructive feedback that they can actually focus on. I think that's really important to remember. Craig at Bryant Webster shares, create expectations together with the class and hang the expectations in the room. That is very important. And I missed some in the chat, I believe. Michelle shares my enthusiasm for incense and music in the library. Brain match. And Kaylee, get a cheap record player at a yard sale for the library. Yes. I love that. And Luke shares that he had a lava lamp in his lab and the students loved it. Students will choose their group for at least one activity, and that is for Faten. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. And I also see a response. This might be from Matthew. Craig gave a cool way to have students work together while playing a coding game with robots. My students would also love to do that with Sphero robots. Also want to learn more about this whiteboard with Canva. I like it. In our session, Peter presented another alternative to whiteboard called FigJam. And if any folks who weren't in our session want more information about that, feel free to reach out to any of us and we can provide you with that. I had not really personally experienced that until today, but it was really fun. I can see that being a productive tool for folks. All right. Maybe 10, 15 more seconds to get your last couple of responses on there, and then we'll move on to some things that folks want to share before we close out our session. But thank you for everybody's responses. I think that this was really great to see what folks have learned. And even if I wasn't able to attend those sessions personally, like this has made me more interested in what you were learning. So that's been really positive. Thank you.
Okay, as you are wrapping up your thoughts, you are just jazzed with like great energy from collaborating on our wonderful space today. If you are thinking to yourself, wow, I would really love some dedicated coaching support in implementing some of these strategies, you should join our PDU. So you're able to take the learning that we do within our Teal Day sessions and just get that one-on-one dedicated support to the level that you need in order to implement these strategies. You also then get the PDU credit for it. That PDU credit is that 3 graduate level credits used to move lanes on your salary schedule. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you just want to know more about our PDU, please reach out to your digital coach for more information. Or if you are ready to register, you're like, yeah, let's get on it. Let's do it right now. Luke just dropped in the registration link in the chat. It is also in the slide notes if you are following along on our slide deck. You can also always directly reach out to me and I can walk you through that process and register you on my end if that's something that you're interested in.
And it is that time of year again where we are starting to talk about our STEAM Expo. This is going to be our second annual expo, and it's going to be on May 4th at CSU Spur. We had about 1,000 kiddos turn out last year for arts, science fair, robotics, esports, health, all of these awesome things that kids were able to present, show, interact with their work. And we want to see everybody there. We are going to start taking submissions for the STEAM Expo and what you want your student work to be presented as at the expo in a week or so. But I think that we're going to eventually, we're going to get that flyer out to everybody so we can start getting some submissions. So if you have some ideas for how you want your kiddos to participate at the STEAM Expo, our theme is Be the Change. And we would love to consult with you one-on-one if you have any further questions.
Also coming up in December is our Computer Science Week. So last year was our first annual. This year we're doing second annual. We had 7,400 students do computer science, and that does not need to be in a computer science classroom. That can be in any classroom. Kids can code, do robots, hands-on activities that involve computer science. So it is December 4th through 8th, so it's a couple months away. More information and sign up based off of the tiny URL I just dropped in the chat. We'd love to have all of you participate with us this year.
All right, and this is just a friendly reminder about the Climate Champions Grant Program. There is money up for grabs, so if you want to set up a team, you can get up to $25,000 for your ideas. The deadline to submit your project is December 1st, so just wanted to remind everybody about that.
And last but not least, you made it. You did it. You got through the whole thing. And now you should be awarded some credit for that. If you are able to pre-register, please make sure that you complete the survey from within Schoology. So you do need to access that survey link from within Schoology. I just dropped that link in the chat for you. You are looking for EdTech STEAM strategies to ignite learning. If you cannot access this Schoology course with the link that I just dropped in, it means that something's up with your registration and you should just send me an email instead and I will make sure that you get credit for this. If at any time you're looking at your learning space stuff and you're like, ooh, I didn't get credit for that session, but I was definitely there, please send me an email and I will make sure that that gets fixed. Our next Teal Day session will be in February. Can't wait to see you all then. You'll get lots of communication from me beforehand. And yeah, go be free, do great things. Can't wait to see y'all. Am ready for the flood of PDU participants that are coming our way. Thank you so much for coming.